Daily news on breaking news on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all our social platforms: Instagram, Prince Miller Entertainment; Facebook, Prince Miller Entertainment. Our Facebook group is Prince Miller Entertainment TV, and also on our Twitter handle it's PMillerENT. Welcome to another edition of Daily News on Breaking News. Today is the 1st of June 2021. So the Zimbabwe Prison and Correctional Services, as PCS, accused of showing favor to incarcerated ex-cabinet ministers and other public figures by separating them from other inmates and offering them special treatment, has defended its position, saying the practice is meant to protect them against violence and harassment. Speaking during an all-stakeholder anti-graft indaba organized by the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission (ZACC) and Transparency International Zimbabwe (TIZ) in Harare recently, ZPCS Deputy Commissioner General Christine Manevi said such public figures were prone to abuse and harassment in the cells. Recently, there was a public outcry after reports filtered that a former cabinet minister, Priska Mufumira, arrested for corruption-related charges, was offered 5-star treatment in remand prison. Reports also made rounds that some prison officers had relationships with inmates to an extent of allowing them to be intimate with their partners in solitary cells while serving. Other inmates were reported seen attending family funerals when they are expected to be in prison. Deputy Commissioner General Manevi said prisoners are classified differently, and ministers and other public figures fall under the class of those who need protection by removal from others. She said the treatment of such inmates at ZPCS protects them in terms of the law. We have different classes of inmates who all need protection in terms of the law. All of us are potential prisoners, and we must protect inmates as required by the law. Ministers and other public figures are prone to verbal and physical abuse when in custody by some angry inmates. Recently, a female minister who was in remand prison was harassed and threatened with violence by some inmates who are accused of failing to build proper cells while in government. We had to remove her and place her in different cells as a way of protecting her from attack, she said. Deputy Commissioner General Maneri said the minister is not a favor, but ZPCS simply acts in the terms of the law. That is neither a favor nor preferential treatment at all. It's not about giving them preferential treatment, but it's a matter of classes. We simply separate them from the violent ones in terms of the law, she said. However, legal experts describe the practice as unfair. Harare lawyer Mr. Alex Machanchani said all inmates were equal regardless of their status in society. It is not appropriate at all. It violates the right to equality before the law. All inmates have the same status in prisons and no one must be treated differently. Again, high-ranking officials need to appreciate the conditions of prisons once they are caught on the wrong side of the law, said Mr. Machanchani. South Africa-based lawyer Mr. Atambudzayi Gonese Manjonjo said the practice only benefits public figures. It's unfair. I think if everyone is subjected to the same conditions as others in cells, chances of having improvements in prison conditions will be high. High-profile inmates will be heard better, she said. A check with the criterion used to determine who qualifies for open prison shows that one status in society was not considered. An inmate who would have served for about 3 years and left with 2 years of his or her jail term can be considered to serve in an open prison. Those serving for serious offenses like murder, stock theft, robbery, rape, and other sexual offenses cannot be considered. They also considered one behavior when he or she was serving in a closed prison. Since open prisons allow home visits, ZPCS established whether or not the inmate has relatives who can accept him for a periodic home visit from open prison. Meanwhile, another ZPCS official, Chief Superintendent Patricia Mavembu, said corruption levels have significantly gone down through awareness programs and continuous training of officers. She said at times officers would create a corrupt relationship with inmates or their relatives, but ZPCS command Read Riot Act whipping them into line. We've heard of relationships between officers and inmates or their relatives where the inmates end up getting favor. In the procurement section, payments are done to suppliers on a first-come, first-served basis, but those who supply late may get paid first because of corruption. The management read recently the Riot Act against corruption, right from the top to the most junior officer. There is now tight monitoring and review of operations to ensure compliance. Through such measures, ZPCS has managed to reduce corruption among its officers. In an organization, there are always bad apples, but they are dealt with in terms of the law. Rogi elements are dismissed, she said. So guys, that's the latest regarding to Nyaye Jerry. Wakasungwa nasi wewe unokanda kumbombera, but amemfumira wakanzi varirwe izvozvi. She will get special treatment. Vanenge vari museura vega, maybe vachotodya maybe KFC nemanandos and everything, and imi muchirwa sadza necabbage samafuta namahwanja chao. So do my conditions are kujeri. And again, ZPCS is not denying it. They are saying that I wambava dzine maclass mune class A, class B, ne class C, ne class D. And so a government minister Sungwa, she or he is class A or class B, do maninga vari momo, and they are saying that they are protecting them from violence in anotuka vanhu antase vanoti we minister wepangori minister waidi kuaka ojerere nani, and which is true, definitely true, because mari yacho anenge akatora yacho yaitokwana kutota refurbish Chikorobi prison into a better condition jail prison actually compared to Jairi at the moment, because I'll tell you kuti my conditions are Chikorobi at the moment are worse. I mean Chikorobi anamavira yambeta a 5-star hotel. We all know kuti wakatongo kanda kujeri chete. It will be a bad place whereby I really don't wish anyone to be in that situation actually. In the comment section, do you agree with what Zimbabwe prisons are saying? Bava zinema class A, class B, class C, which means some they get a special treatment and others mnenge muri kumbombera uko muchirwa nechando kana kuti muchwase muchidya sadza necabbage, by why others vanenge vane marights nguva yekutombosangana nevadiwa vavo kutombopuhwa karoom kunzi imwe, and some vanenge vachitodyawo chikafu chichiri nani, vachoigirwa dzongwa a good meal from outside, then the rest munenge muchitongoita imwe handitika ndo mamiro azvakaita at the moment. So ngatitaure in the comment section. This is our daily news on breaking news on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Remember guys to turn on the notification bell not to miss any of our new uploads. We upload each and every day. Follow us all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and also our Facebook group, which is Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Be part of our family. Be part of us on our Facebook family. Thank you very much for listening and watching daily news on breaking news. Bless up.